till we get some feedback. So shout out to everybody. This is a producer chat with Craftmaster Productions from Studio1Tutorials.com. We got him on the big screen. I'm down in the bottom corner behind the logo. I should probably move my logo.
Yeah, move your logo, bro.
Move my logo. And today we're going to go over, can producers still make a living online? We have a lot to talk about. And I do enjoy the depth that we have in our conversation because you bring a different angle. It's not like, it's different. So I appreciate that. So we're back. Let's see who's in the building. We got loud sounds. Tell me if you hear any. I know it's feedback, but tell me if it's too much. I can try to turn it down, but it's hard for me to hear him.
You're good for now.
Okay. Loud Sounds is here. Rondell, what's up? Key Ali, what's up? Funk Rep, what's going on? Sound Slingers, what's up, man? Wayne is here. June is here. Technetic, back to the famo. Arcs Beats. Jay Masteller, what's up, man? Loud Sound says, guys, if you're reading this, y'all gonna make it. 100.
I love it.
I believe in you.
I love it.
What's it say? Dilva. Shout out to you. John Dane is here. I'm just doing my shout outs real quick. Carlton, welcome to the stream. So again, can producers still make a living online? Is it a lie? I put on my Instagram. If you saw my Instagram story recently, I said, actually, let me look up my own Instagram story. I forgot what I said. But in my stories, I said, I'm going to read it word for word so I don't mess it up. I said, and I'll say my shout out soon. So this is the perfect context. I said, I love it when the universe exposes truth to me. Then I underlined, I cannot be played. I can see through intentions like X-ray, and I can sense a lie like a dog who smells peanut butter. Anybody know who has a dog? They can smell peanut butter from like 1,000 miles away.
That's facts, bro.
Crack the jar open and they're like right there.
Right
and I said that's no shade to anybody on my Instagram. That was not shade to y'all. I want to give you that. I just tend to, when I'm like in it, I have to broadcast it to let people know you can't play me. So anyway, I don't want to forget stomp all over your chat if you're saying hey to people.
Nah, you good, bro. My chat is not as prolific as yours, bro. I need to get people familiar with clicking that bell.
Hey, well, that's what we're talking for. So again, it's Craftmaster on the big screen. We're having a conversation about, can producers still sell online? Real quick, doing my shout out to Young Flan, rah. What's up, Alex? Rondell says, I've been asking myself this. So this is a question on our minds. And I want to expose all the lies. I'm here to hopefully be with you, Craftmaster, is the truth, the people who lost faith, improvised, and listening at my non-musical job. Oh, awesome, man. Produced by
the struggle.
Produced by Cosmic. New Gem, what's up? Kate Lambeat. Automatic, what's up, KJ? So I'm going to go really quick. Good Franklin, what's up? Spot, I can't read your name. SPO2K. SPO2K. What does it say? Hamp Lito's Way. Sleepy Music. A lot of people are in here. New names. They're not used to these. Cyan Beats. Dark Knot is here. Young TJ's here. Okay, so we have a lot of people. Antoine's here. Studio 3. The Gamies. All right, so I'm again. Shout out to everybody else I didn't shout out. Forgive me. Classy's here. Welcome. AG's here. Chambers is here. Young Chambers. I believe Young Chambers, by the time he's 18, he's gonna destroy everything in his path.
I got
Young Chambers, how old are you again? Like, you're 15, or am I wrong? You sound like you're 25 on the phone. But.
Yeah, I got one of those, bro. My boy Matthew Carter, bro. He's such a, it's subs like that make this all worth it. Like when he first started hitting me up on IG, he was always apologetic because it's crazy. I have a very sarcastic tone and I'm very dry and I write the way that I talk too. So I guess when I was answering him, I would be like kind of frank and curt and he's, I'm sorry for bothering you. I'm like, nah, dude, I answer your questions. I'm here for you, bro. But like he was one of the first people who, he came to me with like, how do you get, how do you get good at mixing? And I'm like, bro, you got to aim lower, dude. You need to focus on how do you get good at operating a delay, and then once you get good at operating a delay, we'll talk about how to use an EQ. And then once you get good at that, then we'll talk about a compressor. Then once you do that, we'll talk about reverb. And then before you know it, you'll know how to mix. And we've been interacting for like a year and a half, man. And he's like, he's not even out of high school. He's working. He's got all of his plugins legit set up. Every time there's a sale, I let him know. I'm like, hey, bro, you can get you get Isotope for on sale this week. As a matter of fact, all you guys, if you don't have Isotope Ozone, you can get Ozone elements, right, for free at Plugin Boutique. And all you have to do is buy one of their products. Now they have a numerous amount of $1 products, man. So if you just go there and spend $1, you can get legit like awesome quality mastering. And I don't even have my affiliate link set up, so I'm not even trying to eat off of you guys or nothing, man. I think that's one of the linchpin plugins that every producer should have. Like I feel if you have Ozone, especially with the way that it breaks up the modules, like you can have the EQ and stuff like that. You don't need another mixing suite for a long time until you really get a command of what you're doing, and you start to want to venture off into like more flavorful sounds and stuff. What up, Soul Avery?
I would have missed out on that deal completely. Chambers said he's 15. Goodness. I'm gonna do a thing where I switch the big screen, so I'm gonna take your big screen status every now and again. Because when I'm talking, people can't see me. It's so small, people can't see me at all.
All right.
I need some camera time.
I ain't worried. I ain't worried about it. You shine, brother. Do you?
Nah, I'm just playing.
But let's get into let's get into what we're here to talk about, because I want to try to be a little bit more brief than we've been, because I want to make some music today. But
oh yeah. Sure, we do.
Because I'm on the east side, bro.
Yeah, let's start with
the
media revolution that you've been noticing.
Well, so we were talking about if producers can make money online, and if there needs to be, you know, some type of transition, and how this ties into everything. And this kind of started, this thought process kind of started a couple weeks ago. We didn't get to stream because I was sick. With LeBron in the shop, and I was looking at Jason Whitlock's reaction to LeBron in the shop, and he was really a loud vocal voice, and really really just talking down on the whole situation, and had a lot of criticism of it. And when I was experiencing it, I was looking at it, and I had a thought, and I realized that the place that you know, Jason was coming from, I didn't believe that it was from a genuine place of that he didn't agree with what LeBron was doing, or even had a fair critique of it. I felt like he was more threatened for his job, because as we you know, as we move forward, and more people who are musicians and athletes transition from media to from their sport, or from their genre into media, the need for journalists gets smaller and smaller. And this is something that kind of happened. It started around 2003. You know what was significant about around 2003 game?
Young Jeezy came out.
Aside from that, WordPress came out, and when WordPress dropped, that all of a sudden you didn't need to write for the Sun Sentinel or the LA Times to have a voice. All of a sudden you could just have an educated or not even an educated point of view. You could just have a point of view, and as long as you could hook people, you could share it. So when we watch people like Nick Wright and Colin Cowherd, and you know, these people who did not play sports, and now we see that LeBron lives in LA, and he's on the second half of his career, and he's jumping in, and he's doing media now. I feel like there is a you know, there's a fear from the establishment, especially with how free that they were talking, you know, cussing, and you know, just talking like they were at home. You know, it takes away a lot of the pomp and circumstance from the media, and that's what we enjoy. I mean, we look at, you know, again, we look at the Joe Budden podcast, and the guy had an amazing show this week, and he did it in a wife beater. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even have the Colin Kaepernick tank top like your boy Game. He had the Hainsey on, bro, and it was kind of yellow. So you know, we're in this place right now where where the popular thing in you know, in the zeitgeist is rebranding, and when that's prevalent on social media, we get into, because so many people react to, and they base their ideas around what happens on social media. We get to this point with the music community where this week I'm starting to see this idea, and it was a very loud idea. It was a very loud idea, and it was a bunch of people, a lot of people, pretty much saying, "Hey, selling beats is done. You can't
Right.
you can't sell no beats. You need to come up with a rebrand, And I think that's coming. A lot of it is coming because we're seeing Joe Budden be successful with his rebrand, and a lot of that is coming because because Internet Money and Taz Taylor has such a loud and vocal fan base on Twitter. And they see what he's writing on his timeline. He's telling people, he's like, "Hey, I'm in the industry right now. I'm here to tell you, selling beats online really isn't it. You guys don't want to spend your time on that." Because he has so many fans, and because the quote unquote producer community can have a tendency to become such an echo chamber, just like any other online community can. Now we're confronted with a bunch of noise and a whole bunch of voices saying, "No, you can't sell beats online." Like, for example, I see DJ Payne 1 and his people. They did an hour and a half free course on how to structure Facebook ads, how to integrate your pixel from BeatStars into Facebook, how to do data analysis and tweak your ads to see the data, notice your click throughs, and be able to adjust your ads. Now, if you were savvy, if you were truly savvy, you would look at that and you would understand, and you would say, "Hey, okay, hold on. Maybe selling beats isn't always what it is, but there's a man who just gave me a course that people charge $300 up to $1,000 for, gave me this information for free. And if you were a hustler, you could apply it to anything. You could sell chicken coops. Okay. You could sell fishing lures, you know what I mean? You could sell rocking chairs, but instead, because you're a member of the producer community, okay, and all you see is the lens of production, and you look up to the people who are industry successful. You don't have any respect for anybody else who makes a living at it. Making a living isn't good enough. You need to be able to drive a fucking G-Wagon and have a house in Beverly Hills. Otherwise we're not paying attention to your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we got all these people looking at looking at someone like DJ Payne 1 who's giving you free information. And you want to sit here and shout that down and say that, "Oh no, you're doing the wrong thing. You're leading people the wrong way. There's no way, that you could be successful online. It's a pipe dream." Ba 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 ba. When that same person who you were following is the person who told you in the beginning and inspired you to give it a try in the first place. So it's just like it's crazy to me. Because it brings me to a place, it's like, well, why are you even making beats anyway, bro? You know what I mean? Like, are you sitting here creating because it's an obsession, because you have to do it, because it makes you happy, because it puts a smile on your face, because you want to contribute to the culture, because you want to make great music, or are you just doing this because you want to drive a G-Wagon? Right. And it puts it puts our culture, and it puts our community in a state of great peril. You know what I mean? When people can be so easily influenced by
an opinion,
and the only basis and the only weight that opinion carries is because what Buddy has access to the artist that you wish you had access to, because that's the difference. You know what I mean? There is the secret to placing records is this. It's all about relationships.
Right.
I mean the beats that everybody's making right now, it's not like it's some crazy progressive sound. Everybody's using the Zaytoven kit. Everybody's using the same midis. Everybody's using the Spins 808. So it's not like it's not like there's a huge talent disparity. There's a huge friends disparity. You know what I mean? So let's let's really be honest, and let's really talk about what we're why we're valuing somebody's positions over somebody else's, because this other person has better relationships than the other person who's telling you something. And I think that is, I don't know, how do you feel, bro? Do you feel like we should value somebody who's got better relationships over somebody who's got great ideas? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I mean, you tapped into a lot of different concepts. So, firstly, relationships are everything. For example, the greatest asset you have in this life is other people's money and other people's uh, work or force, meaning you don't have to use your talent to get what it is. Those are your greatest assets, period. So the richest people in the world know how to leverage all that. Uber, they're not leveraging their own cars. They're leveraging your car and your time and your talent. All they're doing is making an app and collecting. Amazon, the same thing. Amazon's not making all the products. All they're doing is getting those products to people who want them. So they're leveraging other people's talent and other people's money through investors and all these other things to get what they want. Speaking to the selling beats online thing, people, this is real. And we teach it every single day here at busyworksbeats.com. What's up, Archie Beats? Archie Beat on the beat. We had a cool little conversation here. I didn't get my YouTube stories yet. I'm kind of upset. But aside from that, I started in my mom's extra bedroom during the summertime with a laptop and a piece of paper. I don't care what your dream is. I made my dream happen. Okay, so I went from the same place most of us are in, and my old room was probably not even this big. My studio now is bigger than my old room, and I had less walk around space too. It was a mess. My point is, though, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. Like you said, if you want to sell chairs or if you want to sell, I forget the other items you said, this stuff applies across the board. Success applies across the board. Sales applies across the board. And the fact that DJ Payne One even put out that free course or training, whatever it was, that's it's like, take action. But the thing is, what I realized, since I have a lot of mentees who are models and different things, people say they want success, but they really don't want it. Like, I can give you the steps on how to do something, and I know you don't want success because you won't even take step one. So I also value other people who sell courses and information because people need to value it. Like, for example, if I was given the club in New York called the 48 Lounge for free to host that event, the music producer mastermind meeting, which will have a whole new course coming out. I'm going to wrap around some business content around it. It's coming out soon. I was watching it last night. It almost made me cry how good it was. If they gave me that venue for free, I wouldn't have felt the same like need to make it work. I didn't burn the boat behind me. And that's a Spartan technique, I guess. Spartans are one of them technique. I had to invest $15,000 for that one night, 4 hours, $15,000 to make it happen. I put in so much money that I'm like, I need to make this money back and more, and I will, and I have to make it happen because I put in $15,000 into that one night and a crew of video people and getting people there, hotel rooms. My staff came, so it was close to maybe 15 to 20,000 bucks. So I have to make it work. Period. So when people invest in stuff like courses and information like that, I feel like they have to put it to work because it's like burning that boat behind you. But speaking to online music producers, I just found it funny because you mentioned what.
Hold on, real quick, because I love the burn the boat behind you. That is a a motivational speech that Eric Spoelstra used with the Miami Heat the first year that they won the championship with LeBron. And I want to make sure people understand the significance behind that. So this was a group of Spartan warriors when they landed on Athens, right? And they're away from their home, and the Spartans, they were tough. They was like their women would tell them, you either come home to me or you come home on your shield, you know, but you don't, you know, don't come, or come home a winner or come home on your shield, right? So you either come home dead or you win. So the way that the way that that general inspired all of his men, because they were going to fight a bigger force. They were up. It was the world against them. They said, all right, there ain't no running. There's no running whatsoever. You see these boats? They lit them shits on fire, and they said, that's your new home. Okay, burn the boats behind you. So every time, because I heard you use that before, bro. Every time, I want you guys to have that picture in your head. Every time game says burn the boats behind you, he's saying, you know, you invest and you look away from that investment, and whatever your goal is, that's your new home.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the history and the visuals of that. I can never articulate that fully, and I'm glad you brought out the real story behind it. So again, I made peace with Taz Taylor. This is not an attack to Taz Taylor. I made peace with Internet Money. I did appreciate that they're putting out tutorials to uplift the producer community. So I want to give context.
Yeah, dude, those guys. Those guys are great. It's not about what they say, because I understand why they're saying it. Those are young men. When you're 23 years old, everything that's in front of you is the world. You know what I mean? And then when you get into your 30s, you know, you start to have your perspective starts to broaden, you know. So right now, everything that's in front of them is like, yo, this is the only thing, because they're dead focused on it and they're killing it. But my issue isn't with what they're saying. My issue is with the way that people are reacting to it. You know what I mean? Like take what they're saying, understand what they're saying, you know, because before they were telling you that the industry wasn't shit, and then all you guys were not trying to get into the industry. Now them boys are in the industry and they're telling you, yo, there's money here. Yeah. And now everybody done switched and said there's no money on the internet. And we need to, I just want everybody to be careful, but sorry to interrupt. Go on.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like, is the second part of what you said. It's one thing to be like against something until you realize it's good. Like, for example, Studio One. I used to be like, you don't need Studio One. You don't need Ableton. Then I tried Studio One and it's like way better than FL. But I'm not going to tell people.
Whoa! Soundbite.
I'm not going to tell people like, forget FL. FL's not life anymore. You know, it's still FL. It still gets you tons of results. I wouldn't tell people to not use FL. That's the difference.
Yeah, FL is
lit. And you can notice a quality difference without telling people to not do the first thing. The funniest part about this all is that I put a video out a long time ago about how to sell beats online and how much money you can make offline selling a beat, which was like 40. I said somebody can either pay 40,000 for one beat offline to buy it from the producer, or you can sell 1,000 copies, 100 copies at $40. Is that 4,000? Wait, 100 copies at $40. I can't count. That's 4,000. 1,000 copies at $40, and that will give you the same amount of money. So you have to leverage time versus opportunity. And he commented in my YouTube comment. Now, again, the context is that he's young. He doesn't understand everything. That was back probably 3 years ago. He was in my YouTube comments, started this whole brawl in my comments that said, you can't make 40,000 a beat. You can't do this. It was like, and now he's bragging about making the same thing right now.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I'm saying. Stay woke, people. Stay woke. Pay attention.
I'm not going to chastise him for something he said years and years ago. Again, we're at peace right now. That's not the point. My point is, the things we think aren't possible, just because we haven't seen them yet, doesn't mean they're not possible. So the same thing goes for selling beats online. Just because you haven't seen it yet, and just because you haven't built an online business, doesn't mean it's not possible. And I think the majority of people sharing their opinion are people who have not seen making their business work online.
Bars.
That's the same exact thing. And that was just a good example, because a lot of people it's kind of like the no free beats thing.
Yeah.
Archie Beat says most people only speak negative about things they currently don't have access to. True.
That's true.
Yeah. It's facts. Just like, you know what? Here's a good example real quick. I know I'm long-winded. On my model posts on Instagram, I post with a lot of models. My models are my mentees, and I teach them a lot of stuff on how to be better marketers, better content creators, etc. And I get comments sometimes like, Game, you don't have to pose with these thoughts. Game, you don't have to use sex to sell. What in this post is about sex, and what part of it?
Whoa, nah,
dude,
bro, the shit that you guys post is very like, there's nothing like thoughtish about it at all.
Like, this is a model. Like, are you scared of modeling?
Yeah, like them girls got clothes on, like
Some
like
of them. Not like, you know.
yeah, nah, but I mean, like, I mean, bro, I mean, I don't know, I'm from Florida, like a bikini is fully clothed to me, you know what I mean? Like, shit, flip, you wear flip flops with a tuxedo, bro. We're ratchet. But yeah,
Just to
no,
finish, wait,
that's just the whole deal, man. Is just I want people to be a little bit more critical with the way that they are experiencing this information, man, because I just dude,
you said there's a
the
free video, right?
world the what'd you say?
I didn't mean to cut you off. You said there's a free video people can watch right on YouTube.
Yeah, no, there's a free video that teaches you Facebook ads, bro. Bro, go to search Facebook ad courses right now and see how much money it costs, and you guys got that for free. Um, it's just disappointing to see people react like that, and the people who are reacting like that are the people who could benefit the most from it. Now, is the beat selling game the same as it was 2006 and 2008 and 2010 and 2013? No, it's not. But that doesn't. But see, the thing is, like the way I grew up. Okay, my father's a Marine. All right,
Wow.
and his
Sick.
and his parents are immigrants. Okay, my grandma and granddad worked their whole life in a brick factory. Okay,
Oh,
a brick factory. Okay, they made bricks. All right,
they made bricks.
they made bricks. That's what
Bricks?
yeah, bricks. That's what they did for a living. Red bricks, yellow bricks. That's what they did their whole life.
Wow.
Okay, my dad left his house at 17, joined the Marines, moved away from home at 21, came to Miami, started as a started as a guy running running cable lines for what was Comcast cable back then. Was an iron worker. Wound up doing AC. Never had a college education, didn't graduate high school, and now he's a project manager on industrial projects. Went from the bottom of the barrel to the biggest boss on the site. And
Wow.
that's my influence. So that's my hero. You know what I mean? That's the person I look up to when I think about when I think about somebody who made something out of nothing. I don't think about a musician. You know what I'm saying? I have a tangible example of that, and I understand that not everybody does have a tangible example of that. So I'm very thankful that I do.
Mhm.
I love my dad and I appreciate everything he's done for me. But that's where I come from, this perspective of like, listen, guys, you need to kind of tone it down a little bit. Everything doesn't need to be millionaire or bust, right? Say you're say you're a student,
Mhm.
and you make beats as a hobby, and maybe you make 20 beats a semester. Okay.
Mhm.
If you sacrificed some of your drinking time on the weekends, and you got into Facebook marketing, and you learned a little bit of Photoshop and a little bit of graphics,
Mhm.
maybe you could pull down $10,000 a year from beats. Okay.
Mhm.
If you're a student in school and you're not working a job, and all your money is coming from Pell Grants and shit like that, what would
Mhm.
an extra $10,000 do for you? You see what I'm saying? On the flip side, if you're out of school and and say you're laid off and you don't have a job, but you're living with somebody who's paying for internet and stuff like that, and you could pull down an extra $30,000-$40,000 a year, dude. $30,000-$40,000 a year isn't money that you should look at and be like, no, it's not worth it, dude. $30,000-$40,000 a year is what people are literally dying to run across the Mexican desert to get here to try to make. You understand me? Like, that's what that's what people are jumping on top of trains in Costa Rica to go through, to go through human trafficking conditions to get to this place to be able to make it here. You know, $30,000 to $40,000, and you guys that are making zero fucking dollars, you know, are just are just looking at it like, oh well, you know, I can't make $120,000, so it's not worth it. So I'm just gonna sit home and smoke blunts. Like, fuck out of here, man. You got to be crazy. Like there's opportunities to do more, but we've been sold this paradigm ever since we were younger that success is a dream, you know, and here's how it's going to work. You're going to work on one thing, and you're going to go get so good at this one thing that somebody's going to notice you one day. And when they notice you, they're going to make all your dreams come true. And that's just not how it works for our generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the oldest millennial, right? I'm 1982, right at the cutoff. So I'm here with you guys. Like, y'all can't talk this old head shit with me, cuz I'm in the same boat as you guys. You know, I went through the recession, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. I built myself up. But you got to have a perspective that is true to what you can do. You can't turn down money. Like, if you're sitting here putting time into making music and you love it, you should be exploring ways to get money. And if the best that you can do is $15,000 a year, okay, get your $15,000 a year and put that on top of whatever you're making. So say you got a job where you're making $40,000 a year, and then you come home and you work on music, you know, 20 hours a week. Now now you're at 55. That's bad. That's a bad thing. You're not, you know, it's like it's an all or nothing thing with you guys, man. You either want to be a millionaire at music, or you don't want to do music at all. Like, do you even like this shit?
Right.
You know, that's the question that I have for people.
Shout out Trizza. And here's one thing that me and Trizza agree on. We don't use music as a direct product to sell. It's a medium for music is a medium. The more you think about it like this, the more you're going to understand how to make money with music. Music is a medium. It's a medium just like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What the medium is used to tell a message. That's why music is used in ads, because it conveys an emotion. To what? Convey a message, to sell something else. The job of music is to sell other things. You get to decide the other stuff you want to sell around your music, whether that's a show, whether that's merchandise, whether that's coaching in or whether that's a physical building, whether that's your own clothing line, whatever it is, you get to choose what you want to build around that. That's the beauty of music. Music is just that passive income stream. You know,
yes.
The extra 15,000 a year somebody can look forward to. There's a lot of questions in my chat real quick. Let me address these. Carl says the online game is like a jungle. There's no rules. Everyone is killing the market with the free beat thing.
That's not true. That's not true.
I was gonna say
that's not true.
If you're worried about,
I want to ask that person, what definable metric do you have to have that idea, or you just or you just saying something?
Yeah, I don't like that hashtag no free beats campaign. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I made a whole video about it. You can get a lot of value from free beats to add on to what you were saying, about it being a medium, right? So here's the thing, and Brother MG talked about this on a stream they did last night. I want to credit him because he put it into my consciousness. He said that what everybody needs to come to terms with right now is that there used to be a need for dope beats, right? There used to be a need for it. So it was a different business because there was a need for dope beats. There's not a need for that anymore. It's not a need. Great music is ubiquitous, right? So and we as creators, because we're sensitive, we have a problem admitting that. We have a problem admitting that it's not that I'm talented and that nobody else is talented, and the pool of music is so saturated with trash because no one's as talented as me at arranging the fucking Spins 808. You guys are all using the Spins 808, okay? It's not that big a deal, all right? So what it is that the need isn't there for dope beats because everybody has it at any price point. You can get a dope beat at any price point. It doesn't matter that it's free. It doesn't matter it's $30 lease. Doesn't matter if it's $50 lease. It's just you can get it at any price point. Okay. The issue, so once we know that, and once we could come to terms with that, now we can make a plan on what are we gonna do about that, and it feeds into what Game is saying. Stop looking at music as the primary product. Stop looking at being a super producer, who's got 30 women around him doing rap videos and shit like that as the primary goal. Let's grow the fuck up, and let's be a little pragmatic about it, and let's actually be businessmen. I'm sorry, Game, please continue your point.
Yeah, real quick, like you said, and we have a lot of questions. Like, we can go bullet round through these, but it's just like, what's your end game? Okay, most producers' end game is that they want to sell a beat to, like, let's say Drake. Drake's goal, okay, how does he make money? He makes money by either getting a sponsorship or doing shows. So why don't you just cut out the middleman and get directly to the sponsor? And why don't you cut out the middleman, do your own shows? That's how you get to the money. Or you could sign people under you to perform and put your stuff to work. And that's where a lot of the old the traditional producer kind of went by the wayside, because producers now are considered work for hires. They're not considered bosses anymore, because they're not bringing in artists to go put their stuff to work on the stage or wherever. So the more you look at your music like an focus on advertising. People are going to make their money back through advertising. So the closer you tie your message to advertising, the better you're going to be selling your music, because now they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to use this for my YouTube ad, or use this for my whatever video ad. I'm going to make my money back anyway. The more you start thinking like that, I think you're going to have a better chance.
Check this out. Hold up. What you were saying, because I just want to unpack it a little bit.
Yeah. Because
everybody's goal is to be a super producer. And what you guys have to understand, especially about the super producer era, what Game was talking about, those were real producers. Those were not beat makers. And I'm not saying that a producer is better than a beat maker. What I'm saying is those guys, like when Dr. Dre was a super producer, he brought you artists, right? When Timbaland was a super producer, he brought you artists. Manny Fresh brought you artists. Swiss Beats brought you artists. They brought you sounds. They brought you movements. You know what I mean? Like, they had an energy to give to the culture. Now the way that we're being used as producers is we just have a beat. They don't even much care if we show up to the studio to produce the record. You know what I mean? We just send them the beat. It's a disposable art. But I think we pretty much unpacked all that. Let's go to the chat and let's just run off these questions, man. I want to hear from the people.
There were so many good points, and because people reacted so fast, it was like a shotgun approach. But like you said, that's a good point. The value of those producers like Timbaland, that's a really good point. That actually nails this down. Pharrell and all them, they came to the market with people. It wasn't just like a beat. Here you go. It was like they presented something.
Yeah, they brought an energy to the culture. You know what I mean? And I feel like that a part of the reason why we don't have that today, it's not because of free fucking beats, guys. It's because you guys are not willing to take the responsibility of doing that. You guys aren't willing to do that. All you guys want to do is give a beat to your favorite artist. You just want to give a beat to your favorite artist, and that is going to make you a rich and powerful person. And that's not the way that it goes. Like this, like I was talking to people when the whole Russ thing was going on, when he was blaming producers for the state of music. Like he has good ideas, but he doesn't articulate them well. What he was saying was on point, and a lot of producers got in their feelings, and they were saying, no, it's the rapper's fault because I send the beat to the rapper and he does whatever he wants to do. And me, as someone who grew up watching, Dre and not Dre, but not but Timbaland and all these other guys who brought energy to the game, who signed their own artists. They took it upon themselves to be responsible for the sound of the culture. Nobody came to them and said, hey, this is your job as a producer. They fought and they had to get in there to and this is back when nobody wanted to play rap on TV. Nobody wanted to play rap on the radio. Nobody wanted to show it in the front of the store. And you guys don't understand like the wonderful climate that we're in, where hip hop is so you know, well revered, and everybody wants to put it in movies. I mean, people don't even score movies with orchestras anymore. They score it with fucking rap songs, dude. You know what I mean? Like, are you guys awake right now? Are y'all really understanding the time that we're in? Like this is a great time for us. But let's get to the chat. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I used to hate it when I saw other channels. I'm not going to name anybody. Rick Beato in your channel. Some people, like those folks, are like bashing hip hop for like that it's not musical. I'm like, people like what they like. It's just because it took over rock, don't get mad at it now. But anyway, so Carl says, oh no, sorry. Cynthia says, my end goal is not money. I want to be the first female producer of the year at the Grammys. There we go. Though I want to be a millionaire. I agree. You should want financial growth so that you can do more, and do more for the world. Because Bill Gates has enough money. He does not want more money so he can be more rich. He wants more money because he wants to get to his full potential. He's way beyond like buying. I don't even think he could spend all that money. I don't know.
No, it's impossible.
Like, it's impossible to even spend the money. So he's not getting money just because. It's because he wants to be his full potential self. So don't make money your enemy. But Carl says, he says, if you can find a market where to buy sneakers, food, cars, everything for free or very cheap, you'll want to pay on eBay or Amazon. He's saying, I have no idea what that means. I think he's saying, like, if you find the same shoe for cheaper on Amazon, wouldn't you go to Amazon? And my thing about that is the differences between beats and shoes is that a shoe is a commodity. It's something that's common. Just like an apple. You know, it's the same apple at Craftmaster's house, same apple at my house. My apple's $1, his apple's $2. Would you rather buy from me for $1 or $2? It's kind of like obvious. You're going to buy the cheaper one because it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, you can't. You can't compare music and prices to you know, to sneakers and shoes, because music. The thing is, a lot of you guys who are producers, you've never rapped before, so you don't understand how a rapper goes through the process of buying a beat. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one advantage that I've always had, is I started out as a rapper for a decade. A rapper listens to a beat. That's why it's important to have a free download, because the rapper wants to download the beat, they want to ride around to it, they want to make the song, they want to get a feeling. They want to feel like a superhero while this song's on. They want to play it for their people. And once they get that superhero feeling, then they're going to come back to you and buy it. Nobody buys a beat on first listen.
Right. I was reading comments as you were going. Cymatic says, this guy's dropping bombs. They said, real talk, true. Facts, says Triza. This is a while back in the chat, but I'm still reading it. Cynthia says, what are your thoughts on online A&R sites like Taxi? I heard an interview from Taxi. I forget on which channel, but the guy said, even if you join Taxi, you still have to build relationships. It's a relationship game. And didn't you speak about relationships?
Yeah, relationships is the hack, guys. This is the thing. This is the thing that nobody is saying out loud, because when you say this out loud, it kind of fucks up what they're trying to sell you. And I don't have any problem with anybody making money off of selling information. That's not what I'm telling you. But none of the shit works if you don't have relationships with people. Like if you ever want to get a real placement, you have to be next to the artist. For you guys that haven't heard this story before, I'll tell it really briefly. Like Gunplay was my favorite rapper. I wanted to work with him from like a spiritual perspective. Like, I wanted to make a gangsta rap record with Gunplay. You know, that's what I wanted to do. That was like a life goal of mine. You guys might think that that's petty or weird, but I'm from Miami. He's from Miami. I respect his pen. I wanted to work with him forever. So I put this in my mind that I wanted to do it. And I mean, bro, the first time I tried to get with him was I went to my buddy was doing a show for him. I knew someone who was throwing a show, and and he needed a driver from the airport, and he wanted to look like we were, you know, bigger than we were. So I invested the money. I fucking rented a black Yukon from Enterprise. So so I looked like and I put on a goddamn suit, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna get in the car, and when he's in there, I'm gonna talk to him. I got one rolled up for him, and I'll put the beats on, and then we'll go. But off of doing that, I played him my music. He knew me. He recognized my face. When I seen him again a year later, in the studio, he was comfortable with me, and was actually willing to let me play him music. You know what I mean? So this is not,
Wow.
it's something that's really, really, really difficult to get done through through the internet. You guys hear these Cinderella stories of somebody who added Drake for 6 months straight and finally broke through. Like, that's very rare. The way that you get into the circle is you need to get as close as you can to the artist, man. You have to have relationships.
I agree, and you had to do it in an unconventional way. Is that word, or unconventional?
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to do it by any means. Like that was something that, like I said, it was spiritual. That's something that I wanted to do. That is I looked at it from a perspective, was I wanted to write my name in my hometown's hip hop history. You know what I mean? That's how serious I took it. I wanted to be a part of my hometown's hip hop history with who I considered the realest MC from the city. You know what I mean? And I spent a lot of time and energy to do it, and I was successful.
There were so many comments in the meantime when I was scrolling down, because it takes me a
I'm
while
sorry,
to read.
bro.
No, not you. No. I mean, it takes me a long time to read because I was trying to eat too, and I missed a lot of stuff. But Archie says you're absolutely right. I don't know what he was referring to. But so I got to skim. Swift, this is a Craftmaster on the big screen. Yeah, you got the beard, man.
Yeah.
For a second, you looked like Ebro earlier. Trista says all gems. Archie says he played instruments, could engineer, could manage the full session, vocal produce, and had great business teams. Well, I'm not sure. Oh, maybe he was talking about the producers we were talking about. Trista, so I got to go to the highlights. I can't read everybody's comments. Sorry about that. But Trista says sometimes I think people think placements as making beats rather than creating and curating songs. It's the process that makes it.
Yeah, that's that's big words right there.
So he says songs versus beats. What do you think is more important to have?
Songs, man. You got to have songs. It's so much easier to place a song. You know what I mean? Like that. This comes from the whole responsibility of producers. You know what I mean? Like your responsibility as a producer isn't just to slap the Spins 808 on some shit and make sure it's hitting -6 RMS. You know what I'm saying? Your responsibility as a producer is to bring a concept to the table. That your responsibility is to produce a song, man. Like, and that might mean finding the right studio. That might mean finding the right weed man. That might mean finding the right singer. That might mean finding the right rapper, or that might mean making a beat. But there's a significant amount of work that comes into putting these products together, and it's not just it's not just making beats, man. And if you're the type of person who could get excited about that type of work, you will be successful. You will be a producer, man.
Man. But yeah, back to so I was reading the comments, so I got through the gist of it. Everybody's kind of you reminded me of an Opie and Anthony moment. That's why I said man. They had what's his name? Joe something. Joe, I forget his name.
What your chat saying though? They saying that I'm crazy?
No, they're everybody's like clapping and like saying this is a. He said Bible on the Dash is fire. It must be a song. Anyway.
Oh yeah, Bible on the Dash, bro. Shout out to the Onassis brothers, bro.
Oh, what is that?
The Morris brothers. I'm sorry, Morris brothers. Onassis Morris. That was the producer of Bible on the Dash.
Oh wow, okay. Because when you said Onassis, that's like one of the Illuminati families.
No. Yeah, no. This is Onassis Morris. He's a producer, very talented man.
Oh, well, there's another thing called the Onassis family who owns a lot of assets. Anyway, so back to the commodity thing. You can have a girl on the side of the street. Yeah.
They gonna screenshot that. We gonna wind up in an Alex Jones video.
Yeah, the internet money goons are gonna screenshot you doing that. We're talking about them. A shout out to again the tutorial channel. I respect that. We need more people uplifting the community so we can all do bigger things. Period. But I do have a problem with some opinions, and that's why we're here. We stand up for what we believe in. The point is, okay, you can have a hooker on the side of the street who offers free, get with her for free, or you can have a fine woman who respects herself, who has self-esteem, who has a great mind, and she kind of courts you into wanting to be with her. You're not just because the girl on the side of the street is offering free whatever, free her body for free, doesn't mean you're going to go with her. You're going to go with the more high value thing. So free doesn't always beat high value. And I think that's a pure example. And again, when I use these romantic examples, it's because it's the same exact thing in business.
Bro.
It's the same exact thing.
And one of the first things that you'll learn, like if you guys ever invest in any type of course for selling beats or for marketing anything, is when you set your price point too low, people don't spend money with you. You know what I mean? That's why everybody sells $30 leases and I sell $50 leases because when people come to my site, they want to know. They're like, well, why is yours more expensive? It's like, well, because it's a craft master production, sir. It's masterful. If you got to ask the price, you can't afford it. That's how I look at it. Now, I might lose out on some $30 leases, but do I necessarily, I made the choice myself. Do I want to work with somebody who can't find the extra $20? No, I want to work with a go-getter who could find the extra $20 for the damn lease. You know what I mean? Because this is the type of person who is going to push farther for the song. Because the thing is, with our relationship with rappers, and this is the thing that the rappers don't understand, and I don't think the producers understand it, and that's why they're not able to articulate their point of view correctly. But the thing is, rappers are not supposed to be paying us for beats. Okay, I mean they are, but in this sense, the money that comes to producers comes out of album budgets. Okay, from record labels. Now, what we did was we took the label out of the picture. And we kind of came up with a social contract. We said producers are still going to operate in the same function that producers are going to operate in. We're going to provide you with music, work for hire basis, let you record on these tracks and use them. Boom. And what I think the rappers don't understand is they're operating as a business also, but they're operating with the responsibility of the label. So they're responsible for coming up with an album budget, which they used to ask a label for. Now that you're not on a label, you need to come up with that budget in order to pay us. We're not taking your money, okay? We're not after the rapper's personal finances. It takes a budget to create an album. Right. So give us our piece of the budget. We will give you your music, and then with the sales, we have all that figured out within the contracts. All right, but I feel like I it's very rare that I hear this relationship being defined correctly. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole bunch of producers online, being adversarial with rappers, and a whole bunch of rappers online being adversarial with producers. Like we're trying to take something from them. You know what I mean? We're in a very confused state of the game where we as producers don't understand what our responsibility is, and the rappers are losing focus on what their responsibility is. So let me just be clear with everybody. Your responsibility as a producer is to produce songs. By all means necessary. You guys that are artists, if you're not signed to a label, then all the responsibility that labels had, you now have, bro. That's your responsibility, okay? That's on you. You know why? Because when you do a show, you're setting your price. When you sell an album, you're setting a price. And if for some reason, you're not doing shows and you're not selling albums, then what are you creating albums for? You know what I mean? Like you guys are too many people seeing the whole free mixtape stuff, and they were like, and they want to emulate it. They're like, oh, okay, that's how we have to go about doing it. But you got to remember, the people who gave you free mixtapes, it was Lil Wayne. At the time he was giving you all the free mixtapes, he was the most popular rapper in the game. You know what I'm saying? Right. That was within his budget. You know what I mean? So
That's a good point.
you can't go and think that you're in the same position as the most popular rapper in the game where you're going to give away all this free music without any type of financial plan. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I think that's what kind of has us messed up right now is that artists really don't understand how much one power, earning power that they have and earning potential that they have, and on top of that, they don't understand the responsibility that comes with having that earning potential. You know, nobody just gives you that shit for free, man.
Hmm. What you brought up, I'm glad you brought up a new angle to the whole thing. I usually use the example of the iTunes model. Like, just because iTunes makes it so you have to sell your music for $1 doesn't mean you have to do it. It's just like a lot of people chose to do it, and now you're suffering the consequences of selling your music for $1 and complaining about it all the time when you chose to put your stuff on iTunes.
Mm.
Same thing with free mixtapes. You chose to put your stuff on DatPiff for free download. So you can't blame anybody else except yourself, for one. And like you said, it's label structure, which is what people want, comfortable jobs at the label. They just want a little cushy, they just want to perform and get everything thrown to them. Versus people who, like us, we're independent. We have to build our own business structure. We have to build our own business. We have to build our own staff. For example, I pay for my own music videos. I pay 20,000 bucks just to shoot one set of videos, along with staff fees, along with flight fees, along with staying at places fees, along with spending 15,000 just to rent my own venue up in New York at the 48 Lounge. I All those expenses come to me. There's no label that I'm running this bill to. You know, there's no daddy of the situation like paying for all this.
And you know what's
Okay, so
crazy?
if you want
I didn't
to,
see Nan tweet from Game crying about paying that money. Go on.
20,000 bucks to get the best of the best people, the best of the best scenes for my music videos, just to put it out on YouTube. And we haven't put all the music videos out yet, just to let you know. But my point in saying all that is, if you think all that stuff's going to be handed to you, you're in the wrong set, in the wrong mindset. You got to build up to be able to build your own infrastructure in order to do this stuff. And like you said, people aren't looking to labels anymore. I don't know why, but think of a label like a bank. If you want money for your musical venture, I mean, not the only people, but the people more likely to lend you money to do it is a label versus a mom and pop bank
Hmm.
somewhere, you know, because they understand the business, they understand how to monetize it. So Trizza says, oh, you're funny, Trizza. He calls me, he calls me Gem Carey, like GEM, CL Hughley,
Yeah, Triz I like that.
Big Baller Brand No Lavar. I don't know what Big Baller Brand No Lavar.
Big
Oh,
ball.
no Lavar Ball. I get you. Okay. Wow. Trizza's hilarious. But Trizza, oh, speaking of relationships, Trizza is like family right now. So Trizza introduced me to Diego Ave. Diego Ave gets in situations that are like the average person be like, "This is your problem. Like this is a problem for you." Like I can't put it out, you know, on the internet what it was, but you know, it's like problems that normal people don't have.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, you're blessed to even have that problem." Let's just put it that way. But
It was the best
that's all
problem.
through friends. That's all through, like Trizza said, you can't just email people. You got to pull up.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't met you. I was down in Miami, freak. But you live in Miami?
I live in Port St. Lucie. It's an hour and a half from Miami.
That's right.
But like I said, bro, next time you're down here, I will show up
Yeah, man.
because I do what I say. You know that you have to meet people. You have to see people. You know, what I mean, you have to make that eye to eye connection. So much as you know the internet came out and see the thing is me being an older millennial, I remember dial up. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I remember when the internet was brand new, and the internet was an anonymous place. And when you went on
Oh,
the internet, you could be whoever you wanted to be. And then you know, and then for some reason we started using our real names. You know, and
isn't
that
that weird?
yeah, that shit was weird, dude. I don't know. I still
Oh,
I don't know, bro. Like I still want to be Blunt Smoker 797, dude. Like,
smoker.
but nah, I'm joking. That was never my screen name. But still, you know, like
Oh, so
there's a whole culture that goes into music that people don't appreciate. Like I was I forgot what I was talking to some people I was in somebody. I was watching some stream, and it was people were talking about the MPC, and there was a lot of people who were DAW based who were like, oh, you know, those new MPCs, nobody uses them. You know, it's just a whole bunch of middle aged men showing off their toys, and
Wow.
it's funny because you've been to studios, and I think what people don't realize is that when you go into studios, like when you go to do like music work inside a studio,
Yeah.
there is more. It's more hardware centric than laptop centric. Like it's way more annoying to go to a studio and have to pull out an audio interface and cut on FL than it is to take something like an MPC and just plug it into the board and get cooking. So
Right.
I noticed when I started going around, that's why I bought an MPC Live, because when I started going around the studios, I was like, oh man, I ain't gonna be the duck that needs to pull his laptop out real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make
Right.
sure I can have I can have my gear up. And
Mm.
I would get into these situations where young producers would come in, and I tweet about this a lot, and this is facts. Young producers would come in and they'd be like, oh man, y'all ain't got FL. Oh, y'all ain't got FL. Oh man, I would be killing it if y'all had FL. And it's like, well, no, we got the MPC up, and we got live. You know, if you want to if you want to try to work on live, oh, I can't work on live. It's like, damn, man, you just missed out on an opportunity, you know. And it's just it's crazy because there's this whole culture behind like professional music that that people just don't even know about. And again, to bring it full circle, you can see that if you follow Internet Money's journey, right? Because if you go back to their early viewpoints on the industry and working in professional studios and stuff like that, at first it was a very different dichotomy. It was like, we don't need that, we can do everything on the computer. And now that they're in it, it's like, yo, if you guys aren't here, y'all ain't really doing it. So don't just take my word for it, bro. Take your favorite producer's word for it, you know?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I'm eating, but I think it's our ultimate goal. Like, we grew up with Pharrell and all them, Scott Storch videos, and they were all in these big studios. We want to do the same thing, and I'm starting to do it more because it. Sorry, I'm eating. Because it taps into my initial dream. So yeah, you can take your laptop to the studio, but it's hard for some assistants to like figure out how to even plug it into Pro Tools through the aux cable. Even though it's an aux cable, they have to do a bunch of other stuff
Yep.
to get your sound to work through the monitor. But after 20 minutes of setting up, I mean, it's possible, but again, like you said, would you rather? It's just like setting up a mic. Setting up a mic takes like 30 minutes sometimes. Would you rather wait 30 minutes to do something, or just start immediately recording without whatever?
Yeah, you gotta be able. Like, one of the reasons why I became fluent in other software other than what I'm comfortable in is because I had a situation happen to me where I was used to. It was back when I was all about Cubase. You know, I used Cubase, and
Right.
I had an opportunity to make some money in the studio, but I wasn't fast with Pro Tools, and because I wasn't fast with Pro Tools, I couldn't make the money, and because I couldn't make the money, I didn't get the job. Because I didn't get the job, I didn't make the relationships, and the person who wound up in that seat,
Yeah.
the person who wound up in the seat that I could have been in, he went on to do some great things in the industry, bro. Let me just say that, bro. Like, he was a part of some great records, records, and those could have been my opportunities, all because I was Cubase gang. So that's why I always like, if you go on my Twitter, I always throw a lot of loving shade at FL Gang, because
Loving
they're
shade.
yeah, because they're like a cult. You know, they don't want to. They don't want to leave that space. You know, it's like
Right.
it's like FL against the world. But
Sure.
if you're talented and you ever get into a situation where you can work with other people, FL is not as popular as you think it is. You know what I mean? Like it.
Mhm.
So you want to be able to go in between, man.
Mhm.
It's something you need to do,
If y'all come to the studio with me, you know it's going to be on my Razer laptop, FL Gang. It's so funny because we're trying to collab with
bro.
people that use Ableton
Bro,
and stuff. And I'm like, you know how to use FL? They're like, nah, I don't know how to use it. We'll figure it out.
yeah, dude.
Thank God for
I like
Sims, right?
I like that drop though. That was a nice drop.
What? Oh, what?
You
The
know it's
FL?
gonna be on my Raven laptop.
It is. Speaking of, we're going back to Paramount. I don't know if Chambers is still in here, but Young Chambers, we're going to be doing some video stuff at Paramount Studios in Hollywood, October 5th. Um, so, I mean, it's more exciting for me to go to a studio. The thing is, studios cost money.
No, it
Like,
costs money.
it's not cheap, you know. So going to a studio still
Unless
costs a lot of money
unless you have a relationship.
unless you have a relationship. Oh, you know what? You just reminded me of a comment. Soundslinger said, my bad, Soundslinger. I had your thing highlighted. He said, give me 2 seconds to find it. He says, game, I've been doing this for 16 years, so we can make it. So we can make it. He says he owns 3 recording studios, and this is his only job. So he's proof that you can make it in the business and don't have to make beats
That's
and
what's
don't
up.
make beats.
That's
Oh, he
what's up.
owns the studio. Okay, awesome. There you go, Soundslinger. So there's different ways, and I think going back to the revolution of the media, there's different ways to get it. And when people see me next to Murder Beats and Sunny Digital on the Razor campaigns with Made with Blade, I'm right next to the top producers who are working with Migos. Who else is Murder Beats known for? Smoke Perp,
Drake, bro.
Drake. Um, Sunny
Travis
Digital
Scott.
did. All them, whatever, whoever the top people are, I'm right next to them. But I did it a non-traditional way. So people are like, how did you do it? We're telling you how to do it every single day, but you don't believe us. So we have to create more and more proof that what I teach works. Not just like teaching to teach. It's like you're either going to follow and get results so we can do something bigger. So I can team up with you in the future once you're big enough. We can do even bigger things.
Yeah, bro.
That's why I
Like,
teach so much.
I'm getting real. I'm getting like sound design has always been a hobby for me. But like I'm getting real serious into it now because I see the way that music production is going. Like sampling is such a huge thing, but people aren't sampling in the traditional way where they're sampling other people's records. You know that now they're sampling Frank Duke's loops and they're sampling Jake One loops and G Coop loops,
Right.
and it's not boom bap producers doing it. It's the guys that all you guys look up to. It's it's Travis Scott, it's Murder Beats, oh God, who's the guy everybody loves? Sizzle. You know what I'm saying? From 808
Mhm.
Mafia.
Shout out
It's
Sizzle.
yeah, it's Metro Boomin. So it's crazy because I mean, you guys might just want to make trap beats, right? But eventually you'll master that and you'll want to experiment. So like for me, I can go and I can go listen to Italian soundtrack music
Mhm.
from horror movies because because I like a lot of dissonance, you know, and I could get inspired from that. And I can use these cool plugins from Arturia that emulate these old electronic organs and stuff like that and make these cool textures, and I don't have to put myself in a box of like, hey, will this sound good with the trap beat? I could put it together, sell it to you guys, y'all put fucking gross beat and shit on it, and then turn it into amazing trap beat and get your placements, you know.
Right.
But there's many different avenues. It's just the thing that you got to focus on when you're doing music always is you got to have the fun element. You know what I mean? Like when I'm creating my samples, I'm having the most fun possible. You know what I mean? Like making trap beats, that was fun for a long time. I didn't stop focusing on making trap beats because there wasn't any money in it. It was
Mhm.
just it lost the fun factor to me. I wanted a bigger challenge. I wanted to experiment with different chord progressions, and I didn't want to make 4 note melodies anymore. I wanted to make longer progressions and different shapes and things like
Right.
that. And working in this capacity allowed me to do it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think That's the thing. After trap becomes less popular, I think a lot of people are going to be stuck because they think they've learned enough. And like me and you teach probably all the time is that you can't learn enough.
You
Like you have
can't.
to keep being on that edge, or else you're going to be left in the dust. So, like for example, like you said, the four note melody people. Once trap is done, I'm not saying it's going to be done anytime soon. I'm just saying once it's done, what are you going to do after that? What genre is going to be popular then? Is it going to be EDM? Do you even know how to begin EDM? That's why we're trying to like really show you music production on all levels, from FL to
Yeah.
Studio One and everything in between, from song structure that he covers like to sound design to deep whatever. I'm whatever goes into EDM drops. Trista says, nothing is like being ignorantly loud and making beats on a high quality studio
On
speakers.
some Asperger's, bro. Just making the most ratchet shit possible on some Asperger's.
Sure.
Yes, sir. When that shit's penetrating your chest.
Right. When you're in the studio, a lot of people probably think it's a huge, huge sound difference than being in your home. To me, it sounds the same. It's just a bigger room and it's a little bit louder. Like you can't really, it's hard to like tell where a
No,
sound is,
no, no, no.
especially over
The game,
speakers. What do you
the difference. There's two differences.
go ahead?
There's a difference. There's a difference in the highs and there's a difference in the lows. Okay, when you're at home in a square room, depending on where you put your seat, you
Hmm.
can you can lose the bass, right? But
Right.
in a professionally tuned room, no matter where you stand in that room, you're good. That's the main difference. Like for me, I'll show you. For me, I have to be right here.
Oh, that's
If I'm here, the bass sounds completely different.
true.
If I'm here, the bass sounds completely different. You know what I mean? You have to be in the sweet spot of that equilibrial triangle. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? When you pull up the big mains at a studio, it's a little bit different. And then also from about like 3K up, you have a much better it's clearer. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
I mean, I do
I
agree.
think that has a lot to do. I think that has a lot to do with how well the room is tuned, though.
I
But
definitely agree there is a quality difference for sure.
but
You got
you're
me interested in buying a mixer at one point. I was almost about to buy a mixer.
but you're correct. It's not the difference that you think it's going to be. You know what I mean? It's a subtle difference. I would say it's like a 15% difference, but that 15% is it will allow you to make the decisions that you need to make to
Right.
to take your record from 85% to 100.
That's a good point. That's actually the way to make that make sense in my perspective is that you make better decisions.
Yeah.
And that ultimately leads to, so when you go home and you listen to it over your iPhone headphones or whatever they're called, earbuds, it sounds way different. It has like a depth to it. You can hear the bass
Yes.
is different. It's hard to explain unless you hear it. I do agree because actually I've said this before. My mentor A beat some API converters versus some other converter, and it was like night and day,
Oh yeah.
literally.
Oh yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
night and day. It was crazy.
And like the other things with like stuff with the bass, you
Mhm.
can because you can feel it in the room. Like you can I would make a decision with a bass note in the and I would hear it in the studio, and you know that you could feel that sine wave going like this. And then
Yeah.
there was one decision that I made where I harmonized a fourth instead of a fifth,
Mhm.
and the way that the bass moved in the studio, it went from going like this to like this for that one note. And I knew, hold on, wait, let me move that up two semitones, and it went back to doing this, and it was like, oh, okay, this sounds like a hit now. You know,
Wow.
I don't know, maybe my ears are weird, but
No, I know what you mean. Like
that's how I experienced it. Like I felt it.
even even in people's cars, like when you hit a certain note in your car, the car vibrates, and then when it hits too low of a note, it doesn't even do anything anymore. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
where'd the bass go?
yeah.
Then it hits that note again. You're like, yes, it's like a massage. Yeah, there's a lot of comments about. I agree. FL can improve. Trust me, there's always room to improve. There's a difference between Pro Tools and FL. I think everybody can agree to that. We're not saying that one's better or worse, but there's a difference. You know, I could see why Pro Studios use Pro Tools versus FL as their main. Can you imagine?
That would
I
be
mean, no
amazing.
shade to FL gang. This is just funny to think.
That would be amazing.
if you walked into a studio and their primary thing on their computer was FL Studio, that
I
would be
would
the day.
I would fucking run out. I'd be like, no, I'm not giving y'all no money.
There are things to improve, but I think that's a journey for FL. It just shows them that even though they're being the best they can be, they're still better, which
Yeah,
means they can always
they'll get there.
um, continue
They'll
to
get
win
there
over
because they're
people.
dedicated to it.
Hopefully, I don't, it's whatever. We love Image Line, I guess. There's a lot of things. Got a lot of things we're doing. Thank you, Space Music. Um, yeah, so speaking of the media revolution, real quick, I'm going through notes. Actually, real quick, Cynthia said one thing. She said somebody mentioned that as long as I make my money back on my equipment, I should be good. Then another person was like, I would love to do that. That would mean I would double my investment. I got this from somebody's YouTube channel, and he was saying that humans, their primary function in America is to try and double whatever their income is currently, and that's where they're satisfied. So they took a survey. He said somewhere around 70 to, oh, what's up, Cynthia? Somewhere around 70 to 100K is where the sweet spot is for Americans to want, the income. Shout out to Adam Ivy. Shout out to you, man. Curtis King put up a video how to get isotope ozone 8 elements and hybrid 3 for $1. So shout out to Curtis King for putting that message out there. Um, so anyway, people are looking for 70K or 100K, and they're looking to double their income. So same thing with your music. A lot of people are dissatisfied. I would suggest though making your goals a lot bigger than just under the 100K range. Like you need to be thinking millions because again, it's going to go beyond the beats at that point. You're going to think, how can I link up with content creators? How can I get deals with bigger companies? How can I add value to the situation way beyond just the music? Lil Wayne is more valuable than his music. He's a personality. He can sell venues. He can like Drake, for example. Drake's bigger than his music. If Drake comes to a bar somewhere without even performing, he's bringing that bar tons of business. Period. Because
Facts.
he's an item.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, dude, 70K is not that much money.
Mhm.
You only think it's a lot of money when you're not making it, but once you once you get to 70K, it's really not that impressive at all.
Mhm.
Once you make 70K, like you have enough money for health insurance. You know what I mean? Like you got enough for health insurance and a house in a safe neighborhood.
Mhm.
That's what you got at 70K.
That will give you peace of mind being in a safe neighborhood. My old
You know
house.
what? I'm not gonna poo poo that because I used to not live in a safe neighborhood, and yeah, living in a safe neighborhood is definitely important, but it's not like it's not gonna put you in a space where you could save a whole bunch of money. You know what I mean? It does put you in safety and a decent car,
True.
which is nice.
True. True. Being in a safe neighborhood, it's like I will walk away from my house. Well, I'm not gonna try and let's just say I'm more comfortable leaving a door unlocked here. But I wouldn't do it on an average. That was back when I didn't test my key or whatever. My point is, my old neighborhood, I would always be like paranoid,
That's
even though I
the
was in a
so
decent neighborhood.
it's the worst feeling, bro. You ever had your house broke into before?
No, and God willing, it doesn't happen.
Dude, it's bad, bro. It's bad when they come in your house and they take all your cool shit and then and then you're just like bro. Dude, there was a time where I would literally every morning I would hide my laptop before I left the house for work because I was like, damn, bro,
Mm,
they got one. And it's
mm,
crazy because when you're in the hood as a music producer, you know what I mean,
mhm.
like you got your eights banging, you know what I mean, everybody's walking around outside, they can hear you,
Right. Mm.
so you make yourself a target, you know what I mean.
Wow.
People are people, because the hood is different, bro. People are always looking for a way to get what they don't have, and if then
Mhm.
it's you think if you're not experienced, you might think, oh, these people aren't intelligent. No, bro. No. No,
Mhm.
you might be smart at your job, they're smart at their job, and their job their job is getting what the fuck you got, bro.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking, I hope people understand that home invasion is one step under murder. If you invade my home, you will get booked almost as close as murdering somebody. So you better,
Yeah, it's a
if
risk.
you
It's a
if
risk.
you if people are out there doing that, just understand it's not like a little slap on the wrist. It's like you're going to jail for 20 years plus, or however long the minimum sentence is for murder.
Yeah.
Actually, some people go to murder for like 9 years. They go to jail. Point is,
Yeah,
don't home invade.
yeah,
The point is,
depending on what state you're in too. Plus in Florida, if y'all boys are in Florida, bro, we have this thing called castle law,
mhm,
and castle law it basically says if you cross my threshold uninvited, like I can shoot you and not be charged with anything.
mhm,
If you invade someone's home in Florida, you can get shot, and they do not take the person who shot the person who invaded the home. They don't take you to
mhm,
court. They don't book you. There is no questioning. You know, the cop comes and he gives you a fucking high five, and they drag you out of the house. And
mhm,
there's like, I'm not like that, you know. I don't, but I know plenty of people.
mhm.
You know, Florida's a gun state, bro. So I know plenty of people who like, yeah, I can't wait till somebody comes to my house. I'm just like, yeah, that's fucking weird, man. That's really
Just
weird.
plotting on like an enemy.
Yeah, trust
The
me,
one
you don't want that to happen. It's
Timmy
not
said, "Get
cool.
a dog." The one thing I want to defend most, if somebody were to ever, even if it was a dog attacking my dog, I was saying to my mom, if a, because I hate, I mean, no shade to anybody with the pit bull, but pit bulls are known and genetically known to be vicious. Period. It's in their genes. Okay, so they're fighting dogs. They were bred to fight. So I hate when like neighbors have pit bulls. I'm trying to walk my dog and just be on my way, and then the pit bull's like, not only is it a pit bull, but they'll leave it like unleashed, which is illegal in PA.
Oh
So I
wow.
had an issue one time at night. I was walking my dog at night, just trying to let him go out. It was like 12 a.m. I was working late, and I'm walking in the back of my neighborhood, and I'm black, so people were suspicious anyway. So this guy's little yip yip dog, I forget what it was, like a Chihuahua type of dog, like a dog you have, no shade.
Yo, don't hate on the Chihuahuas, bro.
I'm not hating. I just meant like a little dog, a little mini or toy dog. And I came out, and then I guess the owner was like, "Oh shoot, my small dog's out there. Let me send my pit bull out there." So he lets his pit bull loose, and the pit bull comes chasing after us.
Oh
I'm just
god.
like,
Oh
this is one
god.
situation where I would. I know dogs are like sons and daughters and all that, but this is one situation where I would defend myself, and let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So so that's.
No one would think you were crazy for that, yo. But yeah,
Mhm.
man, we got a little off the rails today. We got some dog talking, we got some business talking. I hope you guys, you know, I know again, I know we spoke on internet money, and I know that's a very divisive thing on the internet, but I hope you guys understand where we're coming from. It's no disrespect to them. It's just kind of a little confusion as and frustration as to how people internalize and process those messages, man. I just want you guys to, you know, really think with your head, and don't let people discourage you from, you know, from starting a business and from getting money online, and, you know,
Mhm.
trying to monetize your beat hustle, and don't make it a thing where it's you know, superstardom or nothing. I mean, like, for example, I have Studio One tutorials, right? And
Right.
it's a class for me. Okay, I'm currently enrolled in a school right now to get my electrical contracting license, because in a couple years I'm going to be starting my own electrical company. Okay,
Mhm.
because there's big bags in construction in Florida, big bags, $1 million bags. You know what I'm saying? I love music production. You know what I mean? But I also work a day job, and I'm not the type of person who is just going to work a day job and not try to get to the highest echelon of it. So naturally, the highest thing is to start my own company. Studio One Tutorials has taught me about, you know, filing annual reports, doing taxes, you know, scaling things of that nature. So don't, you know, there is value in starting a small business, whether it be a music business, and even if it doesn't take off to, you know, be your only full-time job, you're going to get a set of experiences and life skills from it that is going
Mhm.
to translate into success further down the road. You know, plan your life in decades. You know, think about where you want to be at the end of your 20s. Think about where you want to be at the end of your 30s. Think about where you want to be at your 40s. Think about where you want to be at the end of your 50s, because that's what
Mhm.
wealthy people do. And above all else, you're never going to get wealth and success if you simply take the habits of what popular people on Twitter are telling you.
Mm. True. I'm looking at my task manager right now to figure out why it says encoder overloading, as per usual. But I agree. Yeah, we need to question who are you following. Like, I don't think a lot of people analyze their leaders. Like, regardless of who it is what they're saying congruent what they've been saying since day one? I feel like what I've been saying since day one, and I know what I've been saying since day one is congruent with my message today.
Yes.
So you can go all the way back to day one where I said all you need is a laptop and a dream. It's the same thing here. I'm just showing you how to do it in different applications. So I never told you to not use your laptop anymore and to not have a dream anymore. So, really look at your leaders and who you're following. Again, we're separating people's incongruity from the bigger. I understand internet money's a group. So again, I'm splitting that up into different pieces. I do appreciate the tutorials on YouTube from everybody, regardless of who
Absolutely.
they are.
Absolutely.
But people who, for people who are influential and people who have a lot of followers, you just got to realize if you are a follower, look at your leader and say, is there incongruity from what they're telling me versus what they're doing? And that's all I have to say. I mean, it seems like pretty simple to understand. But we brought up some good points. I don't want to hold you forever, but people seem to love you, man. We had a good audience today.
I'm
Um,
glad they enjoyed it. I when I started getting a little hype, I was like, shit, man, I don't know the people in games chat. I don't know how they're gonna experience this, man.
you're gonna burn down your studio over here.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you guys watching us. You know, this is Craftmaster CMP from Studio1Tutorials.com. Y'all keep it simple and do not be basic. And we will
Mhm.
see you on the next one.
Bang, bang. Here, caveat before I end it. I'm not saying all pit bulls are bad. I think dogs in general are adorable to me. It's just when a pit bull's chasing you off the leash, that kind of switches the story a little bit. All right, we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys. We had a nice audience in here, so we'll
Yeah.
wrap it up. Again, every Thursday. Um, what time is it? What time do we start on your side?
5.
That was 5 p.m.
Yep.
Okay, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and on the West Coast it was 2 p.m. And we'll try to talk about a lot of stuff. Oh, you know what we forgot to talk about though for next show?
What's that?
The native instrument stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll
We
keep
missed
that for
that.
the next show.
All right, bro.
All right, peace out, guys.
Yep.